I will introduce SPNA at first. After that, I will start a presentation about seed potatoes and reducing the infection of virus spread in the potatoes. Then I have a small time to answer your questions, and then I will start with a presentation about the pellets in winter wheat. And after that, I will also have some space for the questions you will have. So I will start with SPNA. SPNA has two locations in the map. In the bottom of the screen, underneath in the screen, you see the two dots. The first location is the location in the middle north of the Netherlands. There we have light clay soils, and there we grow. The farms are mostly focusing on potatoes, and all the other crops around are for changing the crops, and all the are grown for soil health and also produce some other crops. Then we have the farms, the location in the east of north of the Netherlands. There we have heavy clay soils. There we grow mostly crops that are above the soil, so not in the soil. The soil is mostly too heavy to grow potatoes over there, although it's varying a bit. So some farmers are growing potatoes, but I will show in a minute that that are not very many. We are working with an area of approximately 250 hectares, and on both locations we have an organic farm and a conventional farm. And on the northern location from SPNA, we have also a organic field with only plant-based nutrition, so no animal manure applied over there. And that's also what we are going to see next week when I have my second presentation. We are working with 15 employees, also interns and some additional flex workers when we have the high tides in the season, when we need a lot of work. It's quite a flat organization. We know from each other what we are doing, when we are doing it, and we have not quite a big hierarchy. So we have short lines, and that's also important to understand the questions farmers have over there, because we are doing all our research to bring a plus for farmers, and we do mostly practical based research to help farmers out and take the risk on beforehand, so that the farmers can see what will go good by SPNA and what will go not good by SPNA, and what can I apply as a farmer on my fields. We are independent and we have strategic cooperations. The history was based out of government test farms, and that's privatized. So the ownership of our cooperation, or how do you say it? Doesn't matter, but they is by farmers. No structural external subsidies. We are mostly doing research for companies, but also doing research sometimes for the governments when they have some focus on politics and see what research is going to be needed to see if it is matching with agricultural practice. As I said, we do research projects and practice. The farms that we have, the 4 farms, has also to be productive. We have to keep our incomes also out of that, and it's quite important to go forward also with the research. We do it not just on our own locations, but also some tests by farmers. To show what we are doing, we organize demonstrations and also show the trials to the farmers over there. We have some days that farmers can be on our location, see what is happening, and see what they can apply on their farms. Yeah, and also excursions, open days, and we have also meeting facilities to all where also other companies can come and organize something for themselves. That's also quite good for some networking. Yeah, to give an overview of our projects, we have wide tractors to prevent soil compaction and also create some uniformity in our research we are doing. We do research on field and property emissions, spray technology, we have a wheat and a potato academy. Wheat academy is mostly based on the heavy clay soils, and the potato academy on the light clay soils in the north. We do research for mechanization cover crops. Plenty Organic was a project with only the plant-based nutrition. It's also going to be involved in this project. We do salinization research. We are close to the sea, and the Netherlands is going a little bit. It's a little bit tilting to the sea. We have more cell pressure, and we have more salinization in the area. And what are we going to do about that, and how can we handle that? It's one of our main topics there. Nature inclusive agriculture is also overlapping a lot what we are doing here. Strip cultivation, climate adaptation. Fascinating. That's a project based on protein out of beans mostly. And how can we consume that as a customer? And overall the project is also looking into healthcare, and it's quite a big project, but we are mostly doing the practical aspect as growing the crops, and of course the transforming project. Here you see also a bit of what we are doing visually. We like it visually. I hope you too, to give an overview. Now we are going to look into the projects. As you see, for the project based on the seed potatoes, we have a lot of seed potatoes in the north of the Netherlands, and main farms are also focused on the seed potatoes. You see that in the north, the red dot is where our location is you see that we are on clay soil. It's light clay soil, and mostly the coastal area in the north is being man-made. It's being like a polder, as how we say it. It's made like this. You place sticks in the ground, and you place sticks in between, and you create soil. That's how the Dutch did it. And you see all the light green soils on the map are being made like that, but not in the middle of the country. That's all done by creating dikes and pumping just the water out. And then you see in the middle of the Netherlands, there is no soil. That's a made lake by fresh water. And that's also important for agriculture, because we use the fresh water to give it to the crops, but we do not do that on SPNA because our water is too salinated, or we cannot use it for potatoes because we have some diseases in the groundwater, so we can destroy our crop with that. Okay, then you see also how it is implemented. On the bottom you see all the fields that are there right now, and in the north it's World Heritage right now. But that's how it was made, and in the past it was meant to be also fields, but now it's World Heritage with a lot of birds, and what you can see over there, it's mostly nature. Good. Now I will start my presentation about the project. And for the project, I will show you first a overview on what crops we are growing in the northern clay soils, on the light clay soils, and the location on the north of our organization. You see, yeah, a lot of weeds overall. 39% of the area is covered in weeds. And that's to create good soil health to grow the seed potatoes perfectly. It's mostly grown because of the quality of the soil to yeah, get a reduction of soil compaction. The roots are going quite deep and it's helping to keep a healthy soil. And beside that, yeah, 33% out of the statistics are seed potatoes. So that meant to be 1 on 3. I think it's a bit less, but I could not find that in the numbers of the Statistical Institute of the Netherlands. But I will dive into that later. Then, but this will give an overview of how the area is used. Then you see the sugar beet. 14% of the area is used for sugar beets. So that will mean, yeah, at least 1 on 6. And then we have also some onions, and the rest is, yeah, a little bit. um, that's being done by 662 farmers out of yeah, the statistics, where from 337 are seed potato farmers. And yeah, if they are going to calculate how many people are being fed from Dutch seed potatoes out of the area of the northern part of the Netherlands, it will be 231 billion people. So that's quite a lot because we have the high quality seed potatoes over there. So it's meant to be that we are doing quite an important job on growing seed potatoes. But now the issue, we want to be sure that we have no viruses in the seed potatoes, because the viruses that are being in the seed potato in an early stage. Seed potatoes are grown, yeah, first with one healthy small potato, and that's going into the soil and is going uh, to produce 10 more seed potatoes and so on. So if you have one disease in one potato, you will have disease in more potatoes the next year and more in the next year. And when you are going to sell the potatoes to grow the actual consumer potatoes, you will have less yield. And because that, it is pretty important to have healthy potatoes. You will see it on the left. It's hard to detect, and that's the main issue because we have a lack of labor and chemicals to use to grow their potatoes. How the farmers are doing it right now is they go for high quality seed potatoes. Infected potatoes infect aphids, which infect other potatoes. That's the main issue. So aphids are spreading the disease of the potato. So the main goal will be to reduce the aphids available in the Netherlands. To prevent the spread of the virus, it is important to do the seed potato selection. In that process, farmers are going to walk through the fields and grab out all the diseased potatoes. So when a aphid is going to bite into a potato, it is not infecting other potatoes. Um, that's one of the most important jobs. Then they are going to spray oil. That's going to close off the leaf of the potato plant. Aphids don't like the oil, and it works like a filter for virus infection. So it's closing off the leaf and is preventing that other potatoes are being infected. And beside that, there are some aphid killers that are actually killing the aphids. But we have, yeah, some things to do in the future. So the governments are, yeah, banning a lot of chemicals, and yeah, it's also bad for nature, and yeah, we do not want that anymore. So we have to work with less chemicals in the future. There is also some discussion about fertilizers. Are they still available in the future? Are we allowed to use them in the future? And yeah, what is going to happen with that? Biodiversity is more and more an important thing. It is changing at the moment, and we see more aphids and insects, and that's also because of climate change. But biodiversity will also be a important issue to look at. How can we use that to grow more healthy potato, or are we going to infect more potatoes because of the biodiversity? It's a question. And then you see also the animal manure, what is not available, but in the Netherlands we have it a lot available, but we see it changing. In the Netherlands we have a lot of farms, and they are just focusing mostly on one job, and it's or arable farming or how do you say it, cow farming, working with animals, or arable, and that's just working with crops. They are buying the animal manure, but it's not always available. And yeah, what are you going to use then? That's the big question. And then you see a lot of lack of labor. So we have to do a lot of jobs with the same amount of people or less, and mostly less. And then we see a solution. It's being proven in Switzerland. I was thinking that they did a lot of research on spreading straw in potatoes, what is affecting the amount of available aphids on the fields. And they did use straw, and straw has also some issues when you are using that. I will come back to that. But what you are basically doing is spreading straw on the potato ridges, and what is going to happen is that it's in between the ridges, and the aphids are being distracted because they just see one red blurry field, and they think, no, there is no healthy crop, so I will go ahead and find some other crop where I can also eat. So that's what is going to be done. And how do we place that in a trial? And we are also going to look into some alternatives, because straw has a quite high CN ratio, what meant to be that you need more fertilizer to distract that in the soil. And it has also some other issues, because some weeds are involved with straw when you are spreading that. And also some grains that are left over from the year before can grow up into your fields and cause a lot of weeds issues. So what we are going to do, we are going to compare that three of the plant-based nutritions: spreading straw, grass clover, and fresh grass. Grass clover has also a manuring effect, so we are also going to measure that. And fresh grass, we are also going to use that because that's easily available and in the area also close by. So it can be used from a lot of areas where it is available. And then you see the plot visualized. You see the small green square on the top. That's mostly how it's being measured, where it's going to be measured. The A plot, the white square plot, we are doing as practice, so there's no application of grass clover, straw, or fresh grass. And then you see the straw area, it's the B, the yellow area. And then you see that we do the measuring in the middle of it, a small amount, because we think it can be affected by the area around it. Because when you are misleading the aphids, maybe it can be just on the edge from the fields, and that's could be done to prevent miscalculations and mismeasurements, we are doing the plots in the middle of the field. And yeah, so on all the other fields. What we are going to take are some soil samples. And yeah, the main topic of this research is the disease of the potatoes. So we are also going to grab some potatoes and send that to the institute that is checking the seed potatoes on quality, and they can do a PCR test to check if there are actually diseased potatoes in the field, and we can compare if that is less than the other fields also involved in this project. And beside that, we are also going to count the number of aphids that are onto the field's plots. Very good. And that's the alpha and grass clover pellets compared to standard fertilizer in winter wheat. We also want to use less chemical fertilizer to grow the same amount of crop of winter wheat in the heavy clay soils of the east of Groningen, where we also are located. Yes, I will also show a picture of the crops grown over there, and there you see 73% of the crop is weeds. That's also giving issues, but it's also highly dependent on the fertilizer used in that crop, because we take a little bit of fertilizers used. These crops are grown because the soil is quite heavy. When you seed potatoes into that soil, you do not know if you can take them out. Right now we have quite a bit of a wet time, and now we cannot be on the fields. It's too wet. You can become stuck with a tractor. It is not possible to go there and do a job. And when you are going there, you are mostly going there with a sprayer or a spreader. That's the machines that are used mostly because that's easy. And it's going also quick. The farms are a little bit bigger as on area as the farmers in the northern part that are doing the seed potatoes. They cover more area, but mostly based on the less valuable weeds. But for them, it's the most valuable crop. Beside that, they grow some sugar beets. That's overall a heavy crop, and that's being into the soil. That's also giving sometimes a little bit of heavy equipment to take them out. Beside that, they also grow rapeseed, 5%. Potatoes, it's just 4%, and that's also depending on the fields. Some farmers have some lighter clay soils, and some have almost all heavy clay soils. And most farms are conventional farmers. Not many are organic. Some are, but it's giving issues because clay is heavy and you cannot always be there. And when you are going to be a organic farmer, you have to be also on the heavy clay soils when it's wet, and that's not always possible. Right now, the farmers are doing the fertilizing like this. They start with a soil sample, calculate the soil stock in the soil, and give the first fertilizer, I think in February. That's 245 kilos of nitrates a hectare, minus the soil stock. And after that, they give a second dose of nitrate. In the project, we are going to spread alpha pellets and grass clover pellets because they are easily to apply. It can also be done in a spreader, and you are not touching every piece of the soil. You are driving everywhere, and that's giving less issues with applying that products used. And we are also going to calculate the dose of nutrients out of the analysis of this products that is going to compare with the fertilizer used normally. Why we are doing that? That are natural materials. They are close by. You can grow that on your non-productive sides of the field. The government in the Netherlands is changing its laws, and you can only get the GLB subsidies when you're doing unproductive field boundaries. And maybe you can also use that as a fertilizer. And that's an interesting question also for farmers on how to make the sides of the fields a little bit productive. So that's good. And we are also going to look into how effective that product is compared to standard fertilizer, because you know the efficiency of the standard fertilizer is not optimal, and maybe these products are more optimal than the fertilizers. What measurements we are going to do? We do standard yields, we applied objects, general crop overview. So how is it growing? What is going to happen with the crops compared with the standard crop? And we do the general quality analysis of the harvested product. So the protein, starch, salinity number, and hectoliter weight.